Well, I have something from Mick Tuning. They wanted me to test out, do a unboxing and review of this tailgate strip. It's a strip that goes along your tailgate, for your tail lights, blinkers, and all that. So let's get into it. All right, here is the numbers on it. Let's open this box. The light is in a sealed package. Comes with this, so if you don't have a trailer thing to plug it into, you can wire it up and then plug the light into this. We won't need this because I had that on my truck. And there it tells you what the wires are for. And you see that red wire, that's for a backup light. You got to hardwire that one. You don't just plug in. You got to hardwire it to your backup lights. That way when you put it in reverse, the light lights up white. So that's pretty cool. So let's get this open. I know you probably can't see. You still probably can't see. I know good and well. Big fingers, right? All right. Comes with some clips that you can put around the light and mount it. An extra fuse, well, an old school fuse, and some sheet metal screws, and some tie straps. I hope you've seen all that. Anyway, here is the light. As you plug it into your trailer light adapter for your trailer lights. And that's something I don't really like about this light, is that. I mean, it's cool that you can unplug it when you need to, but it kind of don't make any sense. If I'm going to put this on my truck, I would just hardwire this into the wiring of my truck. That way, and I may make it where it can unplug, but that way this is not having to come over your bumper and plug into the trailer light connector, looking kind of cheap, with a wire hanging out. And if you got to pull the trailer, you got to unplug this, so this wouldn't work anyway. So I don't know. They should make this where it plugs into the back of the connector. On these newer trucks, it's got the connector for this type of plug. This type of plug, like I just showed you, and it's got the round one. They should make it to where this you unplug your wiring harness in the back of that plug behind your bumper. You plug this in and then plug it back in. That way your trailer lights still work, but that way it's hidden behind the bumper and you wouldn't see it, instead of this having to be plugged into your trailer light all the time. That, I don't know if I like that. But this is more universal. If they did it that way, they would probably have to make it vehicle specific, maybe, because I don't know if those plugs are all the same on all the different brands. They might be, they might not be, I don't know. But anyway, here's the light. It's a 60-inch. And you see it's 3-row. Pretty freaking long, right? And of course it's got the red thing on the back. You just peel this and stick it. So let me get set up to where we can test this, and I'll show you how the lights work. Okay, as you can see, I got it clamped down to the table because it just came out of the package and it wants to keep curling up. So I got my power probe out. I'm gonna try to send power to this thing and a ground and light it up. Now, it may light up the whole thing instead of just one side, so I'll probably have to plug it to my trailer plug on my truck and operate the lights that way. but I'll operate the backup light, the one that has to be hardwired, and show you how bright that is. All right, hope you can see this. Like I said, the green is the right turn, which should be that side, because I think the end that the wires is on is the left. I'm not sure. We'll find out when I hook it to the truck. But let's send some power to it and see. See how it lit up the whole thing? It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to just light up the right side. This, the yellow, is the left side, and it did the same thing. So it probably has to be plugged in. And then this is the running light, and it's the same bulb. So it's not supposed to do that. So anyway, this, I'll show you how it operates correct and when I plug it up to my truck. This is your backup light when you put it in reverse. You see how bright that is? That's awesome. So let me get set up and plug it into my truck and then show you that. Okay, as you can see, I got it plugged into my truck. Got the lights on, just the running lights. And it is lit up. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. It ain't really coming out very bright on camera, that's for sure. So let's go over there and turn the turn signal on. Okay, as you can see, the left turn signal is on, and the left side of that light is lighting up. And it's kind of a running light, a sequential light, I guess you'd call it. Can you tell that? Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it is the top one. I thought it was not working right when I was just sending power to it. That is awesome. So let's go turn to right. And I was right. The left side is where the wires is at. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. All right, so let's go turn the right turn signal on. And there's the right turn signal. That is awesome. It's way brighter than it looks on this camera, I can promise you that. This is pretty cool. I like this. So let's turn the flashers on and see what happens. And there you go. The four-way flashers is on. Emergency flashers, whatever you want to call them. That is awesome. I like that. That's cool. See what I was saying about this wire? Now, obviously, the strip won't be on the table. It would be mounted on the truck. So the wire would be coming out this way. But this wire has to go all the way to the other end down there because that's where the wire comes out of this light strip at. So it'd have to come all the way down here, which it gives you enough length to plug in. But then this would have to be plugged in like that all the time. I don't like the looks of that, and I wouldn't want it plugged in all the time because when you want to pull a trailer, you got to unplug it, leave it laying wherever, and then plug your trailer lights in. So that's not really good. I would hardwire it if, you know, to put it on here instead of plugging it up like that. Okay, I've run across a little bit of a snag here. That light is supposed to mount inside here. Hope you can see my finger in there, which would be a perfect spot for it. But right here, there's a bump out. Right there, there's a bump in the plastic. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. Get a light over here. You see it? And that light has to come all the way over here to where this is at. It's pretty much even from here, from this line, all the way over here to this line on the bumper. And if you look, there's a bump out in there too. So there's nowhere for it to sit flat. And also, if you look right here, hopefully you can see this on camera. You see the wire coming out of there? Going to my tailgate? That's obviously for the tailgate lock and the backup camera. So you can't really, I don't know if you can still see it or not, but you can't really put it across here because this wire is in the way. When you let the tailgate down, this moves, this wire. So it would hit that light if you stuck the light on here. So that really wouldn't work. And if you put it from here down, this is not as wide as the light. So part of the light would be down behind the bumper. You wouldn't even be able to see it, the part of the light, which is not good, right? So now I don't know where the heck I'm going to mount it unless I mount it to the bottom of my tailgate, which at night might not look too bad, but during the day it probably ain't going to look all that good. Or I could mount it on the bumper, but this is not flat, it's leaned back a little bit. And then of course you got this bump out right here. And then of course you got the tag, it would block the tag. So I don't know where I'm going to mount it. Might have a problem with that. All right, well, that's this Mick Tuning tailgate light. Let me show you the thing. It says it's a triple LED tailgate light strip. That's pretty cool. It even shows you how to hook up the backup light, how to wire it. So that's cool. Anyway, like I was saying, I wish, get this over here where I can show it a little better. On the back of that plug on your bumper, where this plugs in at, your trailer lights, on the back of there, on the back side of the bumper, that wire plugs into that housing. So they should make this to where all you do is unplug that, plug this into it, and then plug it back in, kind of like an inline. Pretty much like my steps was made when they hooked up to the headlights. That way you don't have to have this wire over your bumper looking nasty. And also that way you don't have to unplug this when you're pulling a trailer. When you're pulling a trailer, granted the trailer is going to be in the way, you ain't really going to see that light across your back bumper anyway. But it's just that would make it a lot better. It would be hidden. You wouldn't be able to see it. Much better, much cleaner install. Even if they made it to where, like the old school trailer hookups you get, that you unplug your tail lights, plug that harness into your tail light harness, and then plug it back into your tail lights, and it has one of these on it. Actually, it's one of these, right? That way you can plug this into it. Even if it was something made like that, to where, and then this plugged into it, to where you didn't have to mess with your trailer light connector, that it would just be a lot better, a lot easier install. And also that way you wouldn't even have to hardwire this red wire for your backup light. If it was into your tail lights, they could wire it in, right? So that's just my thought on it. I mean, this works, it's great, but very easy install. But if you want a clean install where you don't have this hanging out, draped over your bumper like that, plugged in, and then have to unplug it when you want to haul a trailer or pull a trailer and just leave this hanging, they should make it a little bit different, and it would make it a much better install and a much better light. Much easier too, because then you wouldn't have to wire the red light into your backup lights. But I don't know what I'm going to do about where I'm going to put it, mount it. I didn't realize that wire was in the way for my backup light, or backup camera rather, and my tailgate lock. This is a pretty good light. I like it. Now I just got to figure out where to install it. That's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching. Oh, by the way, in case I forgot to mention, I did not pay for this. They sent it to me to review, to do an unboxing of, and power it up and show how it works. I hope you liked it. That's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.